We could talk. Hello,
Oh
everybody.
boy.
This is us. This is Esports and Coffee on the 29th of August. Can you tell we just started the semester?
They left us in charge, everybody. So this is gonna go real great.
This is
Uh
gonna go really well.
AJ came on like this and she said she was gonna be dressed in cosplay, but like it didn't register. And so yeah, I don't
So
AJ,
here we
what
are.
is this cosplay? Will you please
Yeah.
describe said cosplay?
So yeah, I'd actually love to see if anybody actually can guess who I am. It's pretty
Sailor Moon.
relevant. Oh no, no, that's a good one though. It's
Is it
pretty.
esports?
It is esports. You
And
might
I
have a
don't know.
team for it.
Overwatch.
No.
League of Legends.
Yes.
Oh,
On
see,
the
I was just
track.
gonna start listing.
How's this gonna keep going until you said yes?
The process of elimination. Like I only have 9 teams, so I was like, I knew it's not chess, so we can get rid of that, and I knew it wasn't iRacing, so we're good. And Rocket League, you aren't a car, so
Could you imagine?
I was already doing great.
Yeah, I'd
great.
actually love to see if anybody could guess who I am throughout the night. If you can guess who I am, we'll make a game out of it. If you can guess who I am, you get something. I don't know what, but you'll get something.
Oh boy.
As far as introductions go, I'm AJ, and we're existing at the end of August, which I think is what we can say for any of us in higher education at the end of August. Who are you?
Yeah. I guess last I checked, I'm Danielle. And it has been a very busy 3 weeks for me. Pepper in a couple family events in there that they were giving me flack, we'll use, about not attending. And I'm like, you literally chose like basically Christmas time for me. And they're like, I don't understand. Said it's the same as like retail in December, Christmas in academics is right now.
What a great way to explain that. Yeah, fabulous.
They didn't get it because they're like, you have to choose you. I was like, you have no idea how much I'm choosing me this year, but I can't choose me for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean you chose you on your birthday. You took the day off. That was fabulous.
I was trying to get away from. I wasn't going to mention that it was my birthday last week, but here we are.
Here
Yes,
we are.
I did take a birthday day.
Yeah.
And then I was blessed. I'm sorry for anyone in Michigan who was affected by the storm. That's my disclaimer. But I was blessed with a second day off because we had no power on Friday. So not only did I get a birthday, I got a double birthday, and I just played video games the whole 2 days.
What a lovely way to celebrate that birthday. Oh
Right?
my word.
I mean, I have to, after the stream, I directly have to do homework because I
Oh.
also am going full time to school yet again because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Because we decided why not. Don't worry, after this stream I will immediately start well, not start, pretty much continue packing. So
There you go. Cause why? Cause why? What event are you going to?
yeah, so there is the reason that this is happening. Honestly, using this kind of as a test run, right? I will be making my yearly sojourn to Atlanta for Dragon Con this weekend. It's every Labor Day. So not well, yeah, it is every many years ago. It wasn't during Labor Day. That's beside the point. This will be my fifth year going to Dragon Con. So this will be one of the cosplays that I will be showcasing at Dragon Con. I have 6 cosplays in total that I will be doing for like a 5-day event. So
You are committed. Like
here we go. Except like some of the cosplays are like very low key. Like Like we're trolling one of our friends and like we're dressing up as one of our friends. So like I
Mhm.
count that as like a cosplay, but it's like not a real one. Only like the people that I'm going with will understand that one. So if you like cosplays or whatever, follow me on Twitter for all of my shenanigans this weekend. You will not be disappointed.
I think the people are ready. I am always amused at what costumes you pull out of
Yay!
your bag of tricks. But
Yes, I'm very
so
excited.
we're missing two people, as you could see. I am not as good as Sari. I apologize at doing impressions. But so Sari is preparing for a hurricane or a hurricane, depending on
Hurricane.
what region you're from. But
Hurricane.
she's a professional, not professional meteorologist, and
Yes,
does
yes,
not think that it
yes,
will affect her. But we are keeping an eye out for her.
yes,
Everybody, give her,
yes.
send her
Sending good
hope.
vibes to all of our Florida friends right now because it's
Oh
gonna get a
yeah,
little dicey. I think right now it's category 3, 2 or 3 right now. I think, and it's kind of coming up into the Tampa area, and it's we'll see how it goes. I still have a ton of family down there, so we're keeping an eye on
keeping an
things
eye out. Yeah,
for
I actually
sure.
have family right there too.
Yeah.
Older family, snowbirds we call them, in the Great Mitten
Yes.
State. And then we have Jackie, who started her amazing new job, but she is feeling a little under the weather today. So we'll send her like we should get a PO box, and you can send her cough medicine or
Yes.
sinus medicine, tea,
Anything to make her
cold
feel
and flu,
nice.
hair flu.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So they left us in charge, and I wrote the jankiest run of show that you have ever seen. But I did it. So, like, Sari, I hope you're proud.
Yeah.
I did it in 7 minutes. So I hope so. Um,
And don't
but to
worry, it wasn't immediately before the show happened. Definitely
no,
not.
no, it wasn't. It was like I worked on it for 7 minutes this morning, like
Uh-huh.
right when I woke up,
Mhm.
not right before the show. So, um, but right now, I guess registration for NACE, if anyone's in, I'm sure NECC too, any competition registration and scheduling is happening. So I have been personally working on that for all my teams, um, which is insane. Welcome week stuff for us. I had class, which I skipped my first day of class because I had an esports thing that I decided to do before I decided to be full time in school. Like Sari said, I get 6 minutes of free time, and suddenly I'm like, I should fill it. So there's that part. What have you been working on, my friend AJ?
Yeah, so definitely work has been very bananas, getting in quite a few teams for registration. A lot of that was a full it literally is a full village, a full team effort in terms of the NACE side of things, league ops. It is all hands on deck, so to speak. So, and I will say we've got quite a few in terms of institutions that are joining, quite a few that are new institutions that historically are super big powerhouses from a competitive point of view. So I believe that, especially within that varsity premier tier of competition, uh, we are going to see some spicy competition this year. I think it's definitely going to be one of our best yet in terms of skill level. It's going to be highly competitive. So something to look forward to. And I will look forward to when today it was like we're getting in like the last few amount of folks that, maybe they missed having the sub on their roster and things like that. So like we're kind of cleaning up things on when registration closed last night. So, the storm has passed at this point in time, so it'll be fun to see everything begin starting next week.
That's exciting.
Yes.
I actually only have one team in Premiere. I was gonna do two teams. We just decided just to do one. Basically as just for various reasons that I shouldn't share on stream. But It's my Smash Bros team that's on in Premiere, and so then we start in traditional. Our traditional athletic conference starts next week too. So we compete on Tuesday and Thursday. Um, so literally the day after Labor Day. I almost said Memorial Day. I'm a little bit off there.
Oh, yeah.
Just
It's
blends
yeah.
together.
Well, it's
Um,
together.
and then registration for Varsity Plus is not closed yet. Everyone listening, you could still have the chance to register until September 18th. We had to look up the date today because we have one team that is desperately trying to find somebody to add on so we can compete. Otherwise, we won't be competing in that title, which that would be a sad thing. So making that work, but that's that. And I guess personally, well, I've been counting calories again. That's me. So I'm like 23 days strong in that. Um, yeah, it's not just a short time. So, what is it? 22 days. It's a habit. So it must be a
I was
habit
gonna
now.
say, yeah, I was gonna say, what is the cutoff? I can never remember, cause I never, I can never remember, cause I never make it that far.
You never make it to the threshold of, good job. Know your weaknesses. Well, I mean, I wasn't happy with myself, so I figured that was the one thing that was in my control. And it really just like if you misstep one meal or one day, it's not all undone. Just start over the next day. So, for instance, my birthday, I still counted all those calories. I think I ate like 4,000 to 5,000 calories that day.
But you
Um,
counted them.
yeah, because my ritual I actually ate less than I would like. So even when I used to work out a shit ton pre esports, I even ate less than I usually did on my birthday. So, like, my favorite thing to get on my birthday, don't judge me, anyone in stream, please, at this moment, is a whole box of Krispy Kreme donuts. I can't even get it out.
Do you put little
Um,
candles in the donuts too? Is that
no,
your?
you don't
Oh
need it.
man,
That just takes away from the donut. We don't need to. We don't need to ruin the way the donut looks.
it creates a barrier.
How big is the box? It's a dozen. Except this time I bought I actually this is why I shouldn't be in charge of anything like this. So, um since COVID, Krispy Kreme got rid of some of their good like Oreo donuts and like more exciting flavors, right? And I know we're on a huge tangent. I promise we'll rope it in back into the topic. Maybe I'll get there about donuts. I don't think so, but so I bought a whole box of dozen donuts, and then I got a 3 free single, like just the regular glazed pack. Um, but the dozen box of donuts were pumpkin spice, and I really kind of overestimated how much I would like pumpkin spice, because I ate 3 out of there, and
That
I
sounds
just gave the rest to
incredible.
the roommate. So
Yes, that sounds fabulous. I always like so one of my weird Dragon Con things that I do is I always have my first pumpkin spice latte of the season at Dragon Con. So like I see all of like the hey, the PSL is back and I'm like I have to wait. I only have to wait like 2 or 3 more days, but I still have to wait.
I ruin those from Starbucks for life. And I don't want to ruin it for you, so I'm not going to do it. So
I was gonna say I worked at Starbucks at a like I started working there. I only worked there for 8 months out of my life. 8 months, probably too many. But I worked there for 8 months out of my life, and I like started in September. So like when I started working there, I was like too like green to actually like be at the point where I was like making the drinks during the fall flavor season. And and then when I was like getting trained on drinks, everybody was very well aware that when you get through getting trained on all of the different areas of Starbucks, you find out what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And working the bar was not my strength. so I never had to make another drink in my life.
Did you just take the money? Is that what they were
I
like,
did.
AJ?
I,
We're gonna repurpose you.
I was like back of house and I was cashier. I was not making any drinks for anyone. I got too, if you can imagine, I got too overwhelmed in a high-paced work environment. And I worked at
Wow.
the slowest Starbucks in the district too. So we all know our shortcomings.
I mean, that's okay. That's okay. The main thing is, it's not gonna ruin it for anyone. I just don't let your pumpkin spice latte get cool and then try to heat it up, because then it tastes like crap. So that's
Ooh,
basically why it was
yeah.
ruined. And
That
I
makes
tasted that
sense.
and I looked inside of it and I was like, this isn't for me. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that was a fail. So like, okay, so let's talk about esports a little bit instead of pumpkin spice lattes and being healthy, which, hey, all those things you can continue this conversation if you join the Discord.
Discord.
You're welcome. That was my plug. You're welcome,
Discord.
Jackie. So
Discord.
today we are talking about women leagues in esports, only women, I guess, and our feelings about that. And pre-stream, AJ, I think actually Jackie is the most passionate one about this, and I think AJ and I are kind of like, we were talking, and I think we're both indifferent, I guess is the word. I think I was in the beginning very, very, like, I don't want to say against it, but like not for it, thinking that we don't need separation or anything in that regard. But the more that I hear other people's different people that aren't me, and diversify the voices I hear, um, I can see why they feel comfortable and why other women want to be in a safer space, in a safe, they feel that that's a safer environment. So I guess, what do you think?
Yeah,
And
it's really interesting because I've gone in my head back and forth about this for quite some time, and there are some people who are very much on one side of the fence where, if there's if there is a separation, then we're not going in the right direction of, if we start the separation, then we're not going in the right direction of making the overall environment, like we're proving the point that the overall environment isn't a space that is safe. We're proving that we can't make it safe, so we have to have this other this other area that is exclusive, that is closed off. um and I think it's really interesting because I they're very on that side. There's others that are very like, well, yeah, there is a problem. We've had a hard time finding solutions to make it a safe space. I think it's gotten better, but there's always room for improvement. Um, and I think that I do fall somewhere in the middle. There's some days that I wake up and I'm like, yeah, we should we should focus on the whole picture and making this thing more healthy for everybody that's involved. And then that there are some other days where I'm like, you know what? we're just it reminds me of that scene in SpongeBob where, like, we're just gonna take Bikini Bottom and we're just gonna push it over there. I have kind of that mentality where I'm like, we're just gonna take like these group of like-minded individuals and we're just gonna go over here, because there are some days where I want to fight the good fight, and there's some days where I feel like I don't have the energy to fight the good fight. Um, so it's hard to pinpoint because I feel like I kind of am a little bit fluid when it comes to this subject.
I think that first of all, we want to promote, like, Jack. You see Jackie and Sari having posting in our chat, and we want to promote people contributing, just so we can further the conversation, because just our two opinions in chat, so the four of us are not the end all be all. We want everyone's opinion, even the allies. We love you for that, and we want your opinion. And so AJ, like the same. I'm with you. Like it's like hit or miss whether I do or don't. I think overall, if it promotes more women breaking into the industry and feeling like that's their way in, and that's um an avenue on how to get here. I just said the same thing with fancier in two different ways. Then yes, I'm full heartedly. I think that I still see, or I don't think we still see some women in collegiate being attacked. I think that I feel like we are doing a good job in supporting each other, and same with all the industries, even the naysayers on Twitter of not for women, but just like in general, the negativity. I still feel semi supported most of the time. But that's my only experience. Like my experience isn't the same as AJ's and other people. So um, it's just interesting to me. If separating it, it still kind of feels like the narrative of um, where you say like traditional sports. The reason being is because men are built slightly different than women physiologically, and which in esports you don't have a leg up if you're built differently. Um, I mean, you should be healthier because your mind's going to be freer, but that's another conversation. I want to read what Jackie said. She said during COVID, a woman Warzone player got invited to an all women's Warzone tournament. She did not get invited to the same tournament that was made for everyone, even though she got top 3 in the previous um, everyone, which is it's fascinating. I mean, I don't know why. This is why I almost said Jackie. AJ and I laughed about it because we're like, this is just something Jackie's super passionate about, and I think the both of us are just kind of like, hey, let's just bring more women in. I don't follow pro, so like, how am I gonna talk about it? But it's sad. Like that's sad. What's the other that does a women's tournament? Um, Steffi
There's.
does a women's tournament, but that's not Warzone. So Steffi Bao does
Mhm.
a iRacing tournament all summer long. They have a women's league. Um, she's going to be in Detroit in literally like 2 weeks. Yes, so I get to
Oh,
spend
you get
time
to
with
see
her
her.
and see her whole setup. And she is very much an advocate for bringing more women into motorsport, and the byproduct is then iRacing and esports. So I like the concept of that, and it's opening avenues that women didn't think they had. And Cody always talks about my Cody, talks about how she needs to seeing people in those positions helps her realize she can reach those positions. So young girls not seeing themselves in the tournament like Jackie's taught, or young girls not seeing women in tournaments like Jackie's talking about, why do they think they're ever going to be able to get that there? They think they're just not ever good enough, and that imposter syndrome shows up.
It's like what was discussed when we had the large coffee house chat the other week. It was a quote that Eugene had said, uh, and it was very precise, and it was short, sweet, and it was kind of exactly what you were taught. I don't remember the exact words, but it kind of hit the nail on the head where like if you don't see the representation, you don't feel like it's in the cards for you. So it's definitely something that I do wish we were able to we we were able to have the we were able to like the Warzone player that Jackie is talking about. Why they weren't invited to this same tournament with the placement that she had. I would love to know kind of the reasoning behind that because that seems very peculiar to me. Um, but then I see, there's the women's carball league that is a Rocket League for 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 women.
I love when you crack yourself up. I
I
think
know.
that's my favorite part about you. But go ahead. Sorry, I digress.
So and like there's I think that there's good I would say most of the things that have come out of like leagues like that, because I think there's two things. Like there are full leagues that are brought together that are created as a women's space, and then there are teams that are created to be a women's roster that are submitted into competitions that could be like just women's only competition, but sometimes they're just put into, you know, normal run of the mill competitions where there's not any restriction there. Um, so one of the other teams is Dignitas has their women's roster as well, and I do enjoy seeing those rosters. It does give me the warm and fuzzy feelings to see women who kick ass at a game being able to come together, find like literally find their tribe in a game that they're all very good at, a game that they're passionate about, be able to be recognized for their talents, be on a team, be supported by a pro organization. Um, that stuff does give me the warm and fuzzies, and I do feel like sometimes it's not received as well as it's just not received as well as sometimes I would like it to be, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I guess I wanna ask you a question and see what you think or if you would. So the first question is basically just keep it in the back of your mind. Would you join an all women's league to compete? Um, and then the next statement is, I guess, the idea of um, patriarchy. I guess is that like people would argue to say, well, why isn't there an all men's league? Be- because there already fucking is. Like it's not that it's all men. It's just like there's they already all are men. There are a handful of women. Um, but I guess it's just like giving more opportunities to show that they compete at that level. And the flip side is, well, if it's all women, historically, they'll certain humans would think, well, they must be inferior at ability level. So I guess what are your thoughts on would you join and what I just said?
Yeah, I I think with where first of all, I am not good at any game, so I don't think anybody would invite me to play on their team. But
You're good. You're good in my heart.
but if given the opportunity, I do think that I think that I would be I would accept a position on a roster. I think solely for the fact that at this point in time, it's it's almost like the more that we are able to I just think the more that we're able to be out there and the more representation that we have, it's all like I can't think of a better phrase in my mind to use right now, but it's almost like, bad no press is what is it? No bad press is good press. No whatever that phrase is about press, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, it's still good press or whatever that phrase
It's
is.
literally any bad press is good press.
Yeah, like I feel like any opportunity that we are able to have where women can be in a position where they can be seen, they have an opportunity where they can have a platform, where they can be supported by an organization, they can be supported by a fan base, they can be supported by, a publisher in some regard. I just feel like if we're able to just be a part of that in some regard, I just feel like at this point in time, we have to take those opportunities now. Um, because if we don't take the opportunities where let worst case scenario. If we say worst case scenario, I, publisher A, create an all women's league, or I, organization A, want to field an all women's roster, and I kind of put the call out there for, getting women to join my roster, or getting teams of all women to be a part of my league, and nobody participates. I feel like I feel like that might be used as a, hey, we tried to get more, we tried to get more representation, we tried to give a space, we tried to um, we tried to extend the olive branch, and it wasn't taken. And I would hate to, use any type of, I would hate to use, whether the opportunity is in good faith or not. I would hate to lose any opportunity for us to kind of take it as our own and push it forward. Um, I would hate for that to be turned around and used as a negative and used as a club, essentially.
Well, yeah, it feels like almost like it gives them an out. First of all, hey, it goes back to, hey, we checked the box, we did it, right?
We did it. Nobody was there, but
It
we.
didn't work. We tried though. So like, and then it's like,
Yeah.
what did you do to try? What did you do? Who was in charge of this? What initiative? What was the age group? Where did you reach out? Um, I was reading. I can't read and talk.
It doesn't work.
That's why I paused and I was probably like frozen. Um, yeah, was the prize pool. Yeah, exactly. I'm not a huge fan of prize pools, but that has to. I mean, in the pro scene, you kind of have to have prize pools. But college is a different story. But different stream, different day. So, anywho, right. I really like the idea of it starting a lot younger. Like maybe not necessarily the pro level needs to be women's leagues. But at that point you're kind of separating them and you're setting the standard then that they can't be together. It's just more of learning to support and getting the right people in those places because every I think it was one of the orgs when I first started. I'm not going to name a name, but that group of people and said person basically said, "Oh, girls only play those Animal Crossing and cozy games," and I'm just like, "Well, I do," and I think COVID shifted that because everybody. Oh, there you go. Uh, I don't know a single person, man or woman, during that owned a Switch that did not own Animal Crossing during COVID. That like really Nintendo probably planned COVID and
That
that's
was
what
the
happened.
COVID. That was the
Sorry.
COVID game for sure.
Yeah. If I go missing tomorrow, I broke the code. So um but they basically are saying that and I just don't find that true. I mean, Jackie loves Call of Duty Warzone specifically, not multiplayer. She knows I like multiplayer over that. But and that's not a freaking cozy game. I mean, yeah, right? Animal Crossing during COVID was so good. Gone are those days. I was Yeah, now I'm playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, or I haven't picked it up in a while. I've been playing other games. But if there is a way, I like the younger crowds, for instance, men, boys and girls, giving them a task in something like Minecraft. One of them, I knew somebody built like a ship or some sort of project that people would work together in team bond. Minecraft is one of those games I feel it's pretty universal. Like you, and it has different ways you can play. Like, I've heard people play competitively in Minecraft. I don't know how I need somebody smarter than me to educate me on how that happens. Um, but I like the idea of them building together and creating something together, and almost leveling the playing field on how they communicate and realizing, hey, we're all trying to build, this ship together, and it doesn't mean one person's better than the other. Uh, I use the example, and I think Cody used it in her panel speech the other day. Hey, congrats to those ladies that got to speak at that panel. Let's go. They She talked about one of my examples was I was attacked during a Call of Duty game and multiplayer, and I always use the example to people is that this person was attacking a kid, and as they were attacking them, I said, "Hey, stop! Like, who cares? Mute the kid." And then they were like, "Well, why?" I said, you're not their parent. It's not your job to parent somebody else's kid, especially in a video game. So just mute them, and that solves your problem. Because what you're doing is they're learning your behavior and that it's okay to talk to other kids that way. And then he starts attacking me, and I was like, "And now you're just teaching them that it's okay to do this." And so he's like, "You're either a gay man, you're an ugly girl, you need to make me a sandwich." Mind you, I was at the top of the leaderboard. So this let me set the scene. I was at the top. This is when I still played Call of Duty, if Cody watches. Now I don't even play because I don't have time. But and I just said, "Hey, why don't you take a minute and Google my name?" And so then he Googled my name, and it was like, "Oh shit." But and I use this example all the time. I it probably drive it into the ground, but it's still it took me having there's only one Danielle Sarikis in the world. Fun fact, really there is. Um
Tried to Google Ashley Jones. You
don't
can't find me.
yeah. And I just it's unfair that I have to use that example um and justify it. I mean, it just happened to me with somebody explaining. I was playing video games with a group of people, and a guy came in and he's like, "Wait a minute, you're an esports coach. What? How are you talented enough to? What game are you talented enough to be in charge of the program? Why are you qualified to be said director? Like you said, did you compete in a championship? Did you do this?" And I was like, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't always have to work like that way. I know plenty of people who've never even competed, plenty of people who actually don't play video games and are in charge of programs, and they do a phenomenal job. But somehow you, who's just learning about esports today, is my judge. And I just digressed into being attacked by being a female, but um, yeah, I guess it's interesting. I would join a women's league. I would. I did. I competed with Jackie, and I think her sister. I think that was our third. Jackie and Jess are like 10 times better than me in Warzone.
That
That
sounds
was in
so
my like I
fun.
have to be a PC gamer to be an esports coach era, and now I'm just like, yeah, I don't give a shit. So
Nah, next.
right, I'm gonna play on my controller. It saves my carpal tunnel problems.
I'm gonna go play Diamond on my Switch now. Goodbye.
Right. Um, Jorge says there's a competitive game mode in Minecraft. One of them is Hunger Games, which was one of the earliest forms of battle royale before it was fully done for standalones. Jorge, even before PUBG. I'll let you answer and finish reading. There is also COD type game modes, building related battle stuff, etc. It's pretty cool stuff and some good prize pools behind it. Maybe I missed my calling and it should
Prize
be
pools for
competitive
competitive
Minecraft.
Minecraft. Fascinating. I love it.
Listen,
I live.
I just you know what I find even more fascinating? Mobile games being competitive esports
It's a
titles.
thing. It's happening. We're offering PUBG Mobile for the first time in a Star League. It's our first mobile gaming competition that we've ever hosted as a league before. It's happening. It's wild.
And that wasn't even a plug. That just came off like
Yeah.
literally out of my head. There
Yeah.
you go. Who
It just
knows where
happened.
thoughts? Who
It's
knows where
crazy.
thoughts appear? They just appear. That's from a movie or something. I don't know what movie. If you can't figure it out, Google. You have Google. I just find that fascinating, which I'm wondering if that would be a bigger entry point for young ladies because they have their phone and the whole concept of parents buy their kids Barbies and Legos, and girls play with Barbies and boys play with Legos. P.S. I played with Legos. I love Legos. I still have them. And so, like, this way is not something where they have to ask their parent for a console or hear that, or even it's a better entry point for underprivileged populations, because, a phone arguably is a little bit more accessible than, say, a PC or console. And they're getting cheaper. Like, you don't have to have an iPhone 14 Pro. They're not even playing on those. I think those PUBG mobile people in Japan they have their own separate like gaming device. We went down a rabbit hole 2 weeks ago with it
Wow.
because
That's so
I
wild.
saw the NACE thing. But I find it interesting. It would be really cool if that's another entry point. Let's do it. PUBG mobile
Yeah.
esports and coffee competition.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in. I've never played PUBG ever, and
Yeah,
I'm in.
it's fine. You
We
just
in.
you use your fingers. Are there bots in it? Like, I know that when I was playing it, I was winning. I got a lot of winner chicken dinners. But they were all like
Hey.
bots. So, and I'm sure, when the games first launched, the ceiling is low skill level. Yeah, me too, Jorge. And then it just died. There's actually an interview that I pinned on my Twitter that talks about, they asked me what my favorite game is, and it's PUBG, and at that time it had died. So long, it's like real dead now.
Oh my gosh, how
It's free to play.
funny. Yeah.
It's free to play, and they have added a battle pass. Imagine that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's all about those
Microtransactions.
microtransactions.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's also playing off of children and teaching them to gamble.
Another stream.
Man, I'm full of topics. Jackie, I hope you're taking notes.
I
She's probably like,
gotta take
damn
some
it, we're not even talking about the topic. Listen, you're not here to keep me on track.
Yeah, but and it's really interesting because we haven't seen. There were talks. I want to say. Ugh, I think this was back when I was on the board for NACE. There were talks back then about what if we were to offer a women's league for competition, and it was a conversation that the competition council discussed a little bit, and it did go up to the board level, and it was a topic that the board had discussed as well. And I think at that time, I don't believe that Jackie was on the board at that time. I think this was
There's only one woman in this whole pathway of this conversation. That was good of them. They were allies.
I was gonna say I don't think Jackie was on the board at that time. I think this happened like within my first year of being on the board, and it was and we had talked about it, and it really didn't. It didn't have it really it just kind of came to a screeching halt. It was not something that any of us felt was a good idea, and it was definitely something that like everybody sure had some ideas on it, but everybody was like, what do you think? Of course all eyes are on me, and in that moment, and because I was somebody that I think that there are good things that come out of it, and I think that there's also ways that it could be used to set us back or be used to, as a club in a bad way. And it felt like an overwhelming amount of pressure to be put on me. But I think at that point in time, collegiate esports was still so early, and I didn't feel like at that point in time it was a good idea to try to pigeonhole what few female athletes that we had on all of our schools rosters, to like pigeonhole them into a women's only roster or like tier of competition, because I mean this was still back in like 20 2019, 2020, like collegiate esports was still, kind of young at that point in time. We still only had very small amount of representation within everybody's programs, and I just didn't feel like that was the move. I know that there is more. Chris Postel at the University of Cincinnati, I always shout him out in terms of looking at kind of the data in terms of how that is changing year over year. So I do know that there is more representation. There are more women. There are more females that are being a part of rosters and programs. What would you think now if the competition council suggested an all women's tier of competition for a specific title? What do you think? Like, how would, because it hasn't really been done in collegiate, we've seen it happen in pro, but what do you think? How do you think collegiate would respond? What do you think?
I think there's a lot of feelings still in collegiate, so
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be. I can't imagine people would be boisterous about this and say against it. I mean, like at that point, you're standing up to. If you're speaking out against this, then you're directly being like counterproductive of all the things you've been constantly asking the four of us and other women within esports. How do we get more women into our programs? So I just don't know if there's enough to field specific. Like I don't have enough women unless I did a Warzone 3 trio tournament because I have 3 ladies on my team. But they also don't all play Call of Duty. They play one plays Overwatch / Valorant. The other one plays Overwatch, and Cody plays COD. So like,
yeah, you've got one here. Yeah, they kind of are across titles. It's not like they're all kind of within the same one.
So how many people have enough? I guess I would say a few. I can't imagine many programs have enough women to field full on competitive level competitions without them kind of looking, I don't want to say half-ass, let's say that.
Yeah.
Like half-ass. So I would like an all-women's tournament for all women's teams, but not an all-women league. That way we're giving the most opportunities for women representation in competition, but also giving a platform to elevate women-only competitions. And then Sari loved Jorge's comment. So do you guys think that there would be a good turnout for it if it was done today in collegiate? Which is, I don't know if you were typing that right as she was asking that question.
Oh, read my mind, Jorge.
I think it would only be plentiful if participants, if it wasn't centered around schools versus school, and rather sort of all-star. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going.
All-star team. Ooh.
Like if you think of, for instance, I'll use Minnesota Mankato. Cody and Razor are like the BFFs of the world.
I love it.
So like, for instance, they would only need a third or a fourth to be able to hold COD tournament. But the issue is like, what game do you put them in? They can't all play this. How do they all play the same game? That's more of like, I don't want to put them in Rocket League. Like, I'm horrible at Rocket League. So putting somebody else doesn't mean they're good at COD. You put it in Rocket League because that seems like the easiest game to pick up. But I do like the idea as we start to grow. I don't even know if you, at this point, do you think we need to go state? Like, I don't know if how many women you could do state, I guess, maybe, but there are like
I think
Michigan,
it depends on the state. Like there's definitely powerhouse states. I think with Michigan you could do it. I think there's a ton of schools in Missouri that could that could get it done. But with other states where that are not as plentiful in the amount of just sheer programs, you may need to do like a northeast clumping, you may need to do kind of a west coast clumping or what have you. But I think the idea of an all-star tournament would be, gosh, that would be very cool. I could get behind something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, to be inclusive, would you need to do it for everyone?
Yeah, create an all-star tournament where you could sign up. It would almost be like how like NA Star League is now, where you've got different tiers that you get to choose where you get to place your team or yourself. Like you could have an all-star one-off tournament where you could sign up as an individual, and me as an individual, I want to network and make friends with other ladies in collegiate esports, so I'm going to sign up as a free agent for Rocket League in the women's tier. Or you could have it like in everyone's tier, so you could be placed on a team that's co-ed, or definitely the details would have to be worked out, but I think you could kind of structure it the same, where you can kind of self-select.
Yeah, I mean, we could think about that in the moving forward in the future, like of NACE. On the tweet. That sounds like a great job for you, Jackie. Your favorite. It's not Twitter anymore. It's X. Can you clip that? I don't know. Did we do it in unison? I know we separated in unison. I saw that. You just have an entire stream of Danielle and AJ amusing each other. That's really what they should have been.
The AJ Danielle buffoonery.
Listen, we talked about the topic for 30 minutes, I think. I watched. I was like, okay, I gotta talk about this topic.
Stopwatch.
You have me focused enough. I just want to get more women and minorities into esports. I think in Metro Detroit have a personal passion. I've been working with a lot of organizations that service communities within the Metro Detroit area. And for those that don't know about Metro Detroit, it's very underfunded. And it's not just underfunded. It's poor leadership who have squandered money. I'm sure everybody has heard the name Kwame Kilpatrick. He went to jail. He was the former mayor of Detroit, and he embezzled all the money of Detroit. So yeah. Oh yeah, 6 minutes. I can't guess your cosplay. This is what
seems like a lot of money.
It was. So he took money, and basically you're just like stealing from the kids. It's
jeez.
Yeah. It's not Twitter anymore.
Hey, thanks, Noah.
I appreciate you. We appreciate all our viewers, and thank you for watching. I'm not wrapping it up. I'm just saying, join our Discord if you would like to continue the conversation better than we had it. Because we'll have
a fine job.
I think we did amazing. Yeah, that's a good idea. See, this is why I can't read chat. I just literally stop and yeah. Yep. I also put my hands under the desk so I don't talk with my hands, because like on this screen that you can't see, I can see my hand moving around, and it's very annoying to me.
This little piece of hair keeps getting caught in my mic, so I keep having to move it. So it's been very entertaining for me all night.
But see, now you're working out the logistics of your cosplay.
It is. This wig.
Outfit,
my God.
Uniform.
This wig. Oh,
I don't know
God.
how you're wearing a wig. Like, my hair is just my hair and it's hot. I can't imagine a wig. You're wearing a wig?
Yeah.
Well, you have your hair under there and a wig and then a headset.
Yeah.
So you have to be, and then your long sleeves. I hope that it's cold at your
in
domicile.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Well, so the weather actually should be pretty good. It's looking to be for the first couple of days, it's actually looking to be kind of 70s, 80s, which I will take because we've gone to Dragon Con sometimes and it's in like the 90s. So I will take this weather. But it should it's drastically gonna heat up towards the end of Dragon Con. So we shall see how I fare.
It should be fun. I have a question for all the chat, and I do have a wrap in. I promise I could go in somewhere with this. What games are y'all playing? If you're playing any right now, you have ready? Go. I will tell you that can't wait for Starfield to come out. I'm taking another personal day, which is not a personal day because I'll be there. I'll be at work on Saturday. But I am playing Starfield all of Friday.
I love
because
it.
It's free for Game Pass, but I bought the upgrade. That's like $30. That gives me 5 days early. What about you, AJ?
Currently playing through Diamond on the Switch. It was very fun because I didn't realize, like, I got to like the first or second town, I don't remember which one, and like you like you're playing Pokemon, so you know that you have to talk to everybody because you never know what you're gonna get. So
Yeah.
I walk up to this little old couple that's standing like towards the front of the town, and they just hand me a Mew at like the first or second town because I played Let's Go Pikachu. Because I had a Let's Go Pikachu account on my Switch, and they're like, "Oh, because you have this, you get a Mew," and I'm like 2 towns into this game. Why am I getting a Mew? So and that was lovely and fabulous. Too. Yeah, I got Mew and I got Jirachi. Was one of them gave me Mew, the other one gave me Jirachi, and I was like, "Oh,
Sword and Shield.
Now I just win the game. This is cool."
Yeah. That's why you have to have Pokemon Home that I've been trying to get you to get.
We do. I do have the subscription for it. I just haven't utilized it.
You should.
At all yet.
So we got Valorant, TFT, a lot of Valorant fans. It sounds like you should enter the Discord and play together. That was not my point, but it was almost there.
I'm very bad at Valorant.
Yes. I'm a Bethesda, like, for lack of any other term, whore. So I really want to play that. Does anyone playing Baldur's Gate 3? No? I want to play that.
I've heard it's very good.
Yeah, I have. So here's a fun fact, and here's where I'm going to wrap it all into a point. I'm really good. I shouldn't tell everyone. So Baldur's Gate 3, I'm not playing it because I can't, I don't want to buy it. I don't have the time to devote to it. I also was never, like, I've never any single time played D&D. Does anyone play D&D? AJ, now you picked it up.
There it is.
Wow, we have a D&D channel in Discord. Yeah, join the Discord.
We got there.
I see. I should have just let it happen and not told everyone, but I think it made a more dramatic effect. But I really want to thank everyone for watching our nonsense. And
yes.
Did anyone? No, not a single person is gonna guess who AJ is. Like 7 people, 2 of them are probably AJ and I, but that's fine. Yeah. Eugene, you're not gonna guess. I don't think Eugene plays League, so he's not gonna know.
This says KDA on it. So that's another massive clue. This says KDA. So that leaves you like, what, 5 characters to choose from? Literally just go down the KDA skin line. Akali, there you go.
She has push to talk. She has push to talk on, so like when she throws her hands up, you don't hear it. It's like, yeah. That's my impression of you. Who said I didn't do an impressions?
Nolans!
Yes. Hey, need to DM Jackie with your deets of your address. She'll send you an esports and coffee. Our biggest fan.
Yes!
Hey.
Yes, Noah!
Yeah, see, she just said it. See, it's like I read her mind before she said it. So, thank you again, everybody, for our beautiful stream. We miss Jackie and Sarah, even though they were there. I hope, Jackie, you feel better. You should take a nice hot, steamy shower to clear out those sinuses. And eucalyptus. I actually had a eucalyptus candle burning. We're back to school, everybody. So if you are back to school, make sure you're taking vitamins, because all those little people and old
hooligans,
young adults are also little germ engines, especially in those dorms. So join the Discord, follow us on Esports and Coffee. Our next topic, I have to go and tell you.
Our next topic, September 12th, we will be talking about obstacles and accomplishments. So, talking about different nonprofits in the esports and gaming space. So, talking about ones that we are aware of. So, highlighting those and that type of information is what will be shared. Look at that.
Hey, so I'm not out of anything, but I'm gonna pretend. Guess what are we all?
Yeah, I don't have any drink with me, so I'm gonna use this mug.
You're out of highlighters.
I'm out of writing utensils.
You are not. Drink water. Stay hydrated.
Yes,
stay safe, my Floridian friends. Wow, is that a tongue twister? Floridian friends. Feel better. Thank you for watching. Until we see you again, we're all out of coffee.
We're all out of coffee, everybody. Good night.
Deuces.